Hey everybody, this is Jenny Paul here, and I want to talk about my personal leadership philosophy. So my leadership philosophy is servant leadership. What is servant leadership, you may ask? Well, essentially, the definition of servant leadership is when a leader serves others. And I know that kind of sounds a little simple, but that's really what it is. It's when a leader becomes a servant and helps their followers reach a goal and reach a common goal and learn more about themselves and become more knowledgeable and autonomous, so more self-leading. So that's kind of what a servant leader really does. So to kind of paint a picture for you about what a servant leader is, imagine a mountain, right? And so a servant leader would guide an expedition up the mountain with their followers and would help them, get to the top. And he would be with them. That's what a servant leader is. Versus a non-servant leader would kind of watch their followers go up the mountain. Maybe give them advice, but he would not really be with them. And that's kind of the difference. I hope you can kind of tell, what the difference is. So, servant leader, some characteristics of a servant leader being honest, it's being caring, it's being helpful, and it's being truthful and honest, and I already said honesty, and have high integrity. And that's kind of what the characteristics a servant leader has. And I hope that I can grow and develop those skills more and more so I can become a better servant leader. Recently I took a Gallup Strength Finders test where I learned some of the strengths that I have. 3 of them that I kind of want to mention is connectedness, empathy, and individualization. So connectedness is the ability for someone to kind of connect with other human beings on a different level and be able to kind of understand things about one another, so to foster a relationship and grow. While empathy is, actually let me talk about individualization first. Individualization is when you kind of notice the unique things about every single person, and you notice what makes them different from others. And the last one, which is empathy, is being able to put yourself in someone else's shoes and understand what they're feeling. And that's one of the biggest aspects of being a servant leader, because when you put yourself in someone else's shoes and you go to their level and you go and see what they see and do what they do, that helps you understand them more and help them, guide them to the goal that you both want to achieve, and it helps you help them, kind of. And so that, I feel, is one of the best things about being a servant leader, is being able to do that. When I first came to Baylor, I was a little bit shyer and a little bit more quieter, and when my teacher asked me, take a test to determine whether they're going to be relationship oriented or more task oriented, I was like, to myself, I thought, I'm going to be more task oriented. It's kind of obvious. No, I don't really find myself relationship oriented. But surprisingly enough, I ended up having, about equal amount of relationship oriented and task oriented. And I was kind of surprised by that because I didn't really know why. But when I started thinking about it, I realized that coming to Baylor, I had to kind of open myself up more and form those relationships with people, because that's just kind of the college experience. That's, what it is to enter the world. You have to kind of form those relationships and talk to others and really forge that relationship. And being task oriented, you really have to, when you come to college, you kind of have to study, you have to do well, you have to, have those goals in mind and try to reach those goals. And so that's kind of my 2 characteristics, 2 styles that I have in leadership. My leadership philosophy was heavily influenced by my mentor. Her name was Steffi. She's my cousin, and she's a lot older than me. She's about 7-8 years older than me, and she's a dentist right now, and she is one of the most caring people I've ever met, and that's kind of what she's always taught me, to always be caring, to always help people, to always, if I ever see someone hurting, to go and help that person. And I really appreciate having her in my life, because I know that without her, I wouldn't be so aware, I think, of these type of things to try to help everybody, to the best of my ability. I feel like she kind of taught me and instilled in me that a little bit, that it's always important to to do that for others, because that is a part of my faith. That's a part of who I want to be and who I want to become. And so I'm just really thankful for her. Moving past Baylor and with what I want to do in the future, eventually I do hope and pray that I will become a doctor one day, and that I will be a good leader. And I know that being a servant leader is important in the medical field, in any career, any specialty. It's important to be a doctor, to be a servant leader in what you do, because essentially when you're in the medical field, you're helping others, you're treating a patient, you're helping them feel better. And that's the common goal. Like, everybody's trying to help that person feel better. And so being a doctor, I hope that I'll have that in me, to be a servant leader, to be in their, to step myself into their shoes and understand, what they're feeling, and I can be able to help them. And also, with servant leadership, I feel like when I want to be a missionary, I want to be a missionary, and with that I want to go out into the world and help others understand the faith, understand God, understand what it means to be a Christian, and the importance of having faith in this world today. And I want to be able to teach people in a way that they'll understand. And I know that understanding where they're coming from, learning what it's like to be living in their environment, living like them, that's a part of servant leadership. And I hope that I would be able to do that and be able to help them, grow towards that common goal of, having that faith. And that's just my personal leadership philosophy.